Welcome everybody to Dan Excelsior, the mostly Marvel show. I would say news show. It's not a news show.
It's podcast. It's in the title. It's the
a
mostly Marvel podcast.
Yeah. I'm your host, Ricky. With me as always is Dennis.
Yeah. I thought it was already clear I was here when I corrected you on the title of the show after episode 177.
We didn't finish the title. It's we're talking about Daredevil, Born Again.
Well, no, I meant the mostly Marvel podcast part of the title.
Yeah, I forgot what our show was called after 177 episodes.
That's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, continue what you were saying.
We're talking about Daredevil season 1, episode 8. The penultimate episode.
Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah, Daredevil Born Again.
I'm like I said last week, I'm so happy that we got a penultimate before the final episode. Like I didn't want both of them today.
Get that.
No, I'm saying I didn't want them both today.
So weird.
Or this week. You know what I mean? I wanted to sit with it for a week.
You could have just not watched it.
No, that's not how it works, Ricky. That's not how it works. If it's there, I don't have the option. I have to watch it. I prefer when the masters don't deny me the opportunity to watch it. It's nice because then I just get to bask in the one episode we got, and it means one episode doesn't get overshadowed by the other. So that's what I appreciate about it. So I'm excited to talk about that one later today. But we don't have to talk about that right now. We can talk about what other stuff we've been nerding out on. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
I can't stop watching Stargirl. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm on season 2 now. I'm in the middle of season 2.
It was ended. It did end.
What's that?
Who's the big bad for season 2?
Eclipso and the Shade. They're DC villains. Eclipso was in DC Online game as a villain.
Everyone else.
No, not everyone else was. The Shade was not in that game. Okay, not everyone was in there. But
so you told me the guy who couldn't make the cut for DC Universe Online. It's the big bad.
There's a lot of characters that don't make the cut in that game. Okay, I'm just saying. But Eclipso is a pretty big, powerful, like demon / djinn / whatever type character, and so does he look good in the show? Debatable. He kind of looks like bootleg Green Goblin, but the costume's pretty accurate, I guess. So yeah, but no, it's still a great show. I think Lindsay was pointing out like what she loves about it, and she loves that like there's like so much goodness like in all the characters and stuff like that. So for example, like I told you before, the show's kind of like a better version of the Runaways TV show, right?
Yeah.
And so like all the villains have kids, and you know, and meanwhile, like Stargirl is trying to assemble a team of heroes to battle the villains. That was the first season. They defeated them in the first season. So now the second season is those kids are kind of pissed off that their parents either got killed or went to jail or whatever, you know, like all these different things happened because of them. So now the kids are the children of the villains are forming their own team to go after the heroes. And they're kind of justified in a way, right? Like one of
Last of Us 2.
Yeah, one of them's pretty messed up because like she was like an up and coming like sports star. She was going to be like the first female to be like in their high school's football team, and she had like her parents loved the crap out of her. They constantly like were watching her nutrition and helping her with like her workout routines, all this stuff, and so she's now in the foster system, right? And it sucks because her foster parents don't give a crap about like how she does in sports or anything like that, and they're taking the checks, and so it's frustrating like watching her be a victim of the system. And there's this adorable episode where she's got tryouts for the football team, and her freaking parents both break out of prison to come watch and support her at the tryouts. And you're like, how can you hate these villains? Yes, they were trying to kill children in the last season. I get it. It's cool. It's they're bad guys. But at the same time, they're like super supportive parents to this girl, and it's really funny. Like that the show balances the superhero campiness with also like really cool like family structures and stuff like that. So, and Luke Wilson he's just great in that show. So like I'm pretty happy with that. I got Clark to start watching it the other day. I told him, hey Clark, if you can watch the first 5 minutes and not be entertained, then don't watch that show.
The lengths you guys go to not watch Severance.
The length I'm going to not watch Severance is just like you told me you're the one that said you got to watch the studio. You got to watch the studio.
Yeah, they're both on the same thing.
So now I got to wait till the studio is closed.
No, you get 2 months of Apple Plus right now for like $3.
For $3? I don't want to pay them. Apple's evil. I will get a free month, and that'll be that. That's it. I don't need no 2 months of Apple. Yeah. Don't worry about me and my Apple subscriptions, okay? I'll get there when I get there. It's certain services just require more investment of my time. The Stargirl's just there, ready for me to watch, and I like her. It's great. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, watch the first 5 minutes of that show. It's pretty funny.
I might.
Yeah.
I saw the Solomon Grundy. He looked like Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, and by the way, I've been watching Justice League also. Like when we don't have time to watch Stargirl, I've been watching the Justice League Unlimited cartoon over again, and it's pretty fun to watch because, like, I've been collecting these DC Icons figures, and so Lindsay's gotten to see some of them because there's only a handful of them, and so she's gotten to learn about them, and it was really fun. Like every now and then, she's gotten sucked back into watching Justice League Unlimited with me, and so like yesterday there was an episode with Dead Man, and she's like, hey, I know that guy, like it's really funny to watch. But that show never stops being amazing, and it's fun to see her have a better knowledge of the DC universe and rewatch them now versus like the 12 years ago when I made her watch all these cartoons against her will. You know what I mean? Like now she actually like appreciates them and stuff, and it's pretty fun. But the reason I brought that up is because Solomon Grundy does not have a noose around his neck on that show either. So I think your demand last week was.
I would argue that the majority of his content, he has a noose around his neck.
I would argue he doesn't. Are we talking about the comics where he regularly appears without a noose around his neck?
Majority of his content.
You're talking about the majority of the content that you've ever seen of him. Also, the Arkham games, he doesn't have a noose around his neck. What are you talking about, Ricky? One time he had a noose around his neck, and now you're obsessed with the noose around his neck. From a 1980s cartoon or 1970s or whatever. Yeah, he don't have.
It builds lore.
Yeah, it's also kind of disturbing, like for children to have that on there. So, just say it. He does not have an Injustice League Unlimited. It's pretty cool. It's
versus a character called Dead Man.
Dead Man's a ghost. He's the ghost. And then they don't really call him Dead Man in the show. They call him Boston Brand, which is his name. Yeah. So everybody just knows he's Dead Man from the comics. That's it.
Pretty on the nose name.
It is. It's quite on the nose. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I've been nerding out on. What about you?
I finished Invincible finally. Like
The man
a month
says
late.
the man giving me shit about not watching Severance.
At least I paid for Prime. I still.
We only
My foot's in the door. It's been in the door.
I pay for Prime. Everybody pays for Prime.
Unfortunately, everyone pays for Prime.
They're evil, but we can't avoid their evil. That's the difference.
Actually, I might. We're not. The Boys is not this year, right?
I don't know. That's usually on you to know the schedule.
I mean, I'm a year in, so I guess that makes I can't cancel anyways. But Invincible's great. Invincible's great.
For a moment, canceling Prime.
I mean, I wouldn't. The ramification wouldn't kick in until next spring. So.
Fair enough.
I actually, funny enough, I have like this stupid choice of like, and I always forget every year. This should be my reminder. My Prime, my PlayStation, Opus Clip, and StreamYard, they all expire like in January. So, and I always forget, and then that's like,
you get a giant credit card bill.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel you.
Anyways, Invincible's great. Can't wait for more of it.
Yeah, it would have been great if we were caught up at the same time when we were talking about it on the show. But I'm glad you finally watched it.
Cecil is a terrible person, and I hope our planet has a Cecil on it.
I don't think I don't think Cecil's a terrible person. I think he's a necessary person. So I agree with half of your statement. Yeah. I don't think he's terrible. I think he just is. He just is, he's the unfortunate necessity of a world with ever-growing stakes, and so I think that's the interesting part about that show is the conflict between Mark refusing to believe that Cecil could ever be right, but like everything, all signs show just Cecil being right all the time on that show. Like it sucks.
Yeah,
it's not good that he's right. Yeah,
it's cool to see that the interplay with like Cecil just being very pragmatic about the situation at hand. That's way beyond the scope of anything I think people could ever imagine. And then having Mark, who's dealing with like the personal side of all of that, and it's like, those two forces don't necessarily mix.
No.
But you brought up the studio. That was my highlight of the week. The latest episode of the studio came out. It's a episode featuring Olivia Wilde and Zac Efron as themselves, and it is as funny as the last episode was.
Wait, so it's Olivia Wilde and Zac Efron?
Yeah, so Olivia Wilde's directing a movie starring Zac Efron, and there's a whole little like whodunit plot on something going missing on a film set.
So it really is like Seth Rogen's Famous Friends every episode.
It is 100% Seth Rogen and his Famous Friends, and they also, they do the thing where they flex by shooting on location.
Okay.
And some of the places that they got access to are shutting down to shoot are like, oh yeah, you guys are pulling some weight here around Hollywood. And it's kind of cool.
It's cool.
But it is funny. I do find that show like I rarely, I think, laugh out loud in shows. And that show has had more moments than others. That's the reason.
Then I just gotta wait a few more weeks.
We're about to get pretty stacked up there right now, right? Because you have Andor coming out. You have The Last of Us is coming out.
Can I just put this out there? I've never actually played The Last of Us 2. I own it. But I like the thing about it was
still working there?
No, I wasn't. Okay. I wasn't working there. The second game came out during. Sorry, I was working there. I just was in a different department where I wasn't privy to. I wasn't constantly
You weren't
seeing it.
working on it.
No, I wasn't working on it. Yeah. So I preferred to stay away from it because it was going to be more fun. Like you don't understand. I had to speed run the first game. I played that game so many times. I hated it. I hated it so much. And I know it's a good game. I just hate it because of the amount
Yeah.
of times I had to play it. So I intentionally stayed away from the second one so that I could just enjoy it. The problem is when I finally got the copy of it, we were in the pandemic. Like
Oh yeah, that
and
came out like right at the start, right?
yeah. And I just couldn't do it because I was already playing the Division for some sick and twisted reason too. I couldn't live in that kind of world twice over. And so I just kept it sat there on my PlayStation for a while. And I just finally just said, nah, I'm not gonna play this right now. And I never did. And
Do you know what happens in that
I
story?
do. I
Okay.
do. I know an important thing that happens. But
I mean,
that's
they just announced they're doing another season of the show, so
they're doing
I'm
another season of the show,
yeah. So I'm assuming
but they're not a third game.
they've kind of alluded to that they're splitting the game. They're
Into
telling the game
parts.
in parts, which makes sense. Like that game
Uh,
covers a lot of ground,
I
and
get
that
you. So
that
that
thing
so that
happens
so that big thing happens probably at the end of the season, and then
probably.
instead of the middle, which is where it is in the game.
Mhm.
I get you. Okay, well,
I mean, it was a short. I mean, it's 8 episodes. I mean, you can. I think
yeah,
there's
yeah,
enough
yeah, yeah.
there.
I'm just saying like as this week started and then Max has been letting me know, hey, this thing's coming back. I'm like, do I pick up that game and play it right now?
You
Or
might
do
have
I
it, don't you? Wasn't it like a plus thing?
oh I still have it. I own it
Oh,
digitally. I'll never not own it. I own the game. I'm just saying, like, do I play it right now?
do you taint like what do you want your version of that game to be or
Yeah,
that
that's what
story?
I'm saying. Yeah, because like I mean the first the show was fun the first season because I knew where they when they zagged versus zig, but like if I watch the show now, I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Like, and so I don't know if it's worse or better. What do you think? Did you play the game?
I played the game, yeah. Um, I think if you enjoyed the game part of the game, then you should play the game to get as a vessel for that story. But if you just want a story which is strong on its own, which obviously why they're making the show, then go
Mhm.
with the show. I'm sure the show is going to be a little bit more condensed, or for probably
Yeah,
better.
I
They
don't know
seem
how
pretty.
I don't know that I missed the gameplay of that game.
Mhm.
Is why I think that's why I'm there. You know what I
I
mean?
will say the look, and I haven't seen obviously I haven't seen the show yet. The look of certain characters is different than the game versus the show.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, that happens sometimes. I'm I'll let you know next week what I decide. But I only have a few more days left before to pull the trigger on it. So we'll see.
All
We'll
right.
see. Yeah.
What else? We got Hacks. Hacks is back for its final season.
I saw that today. I was
Um,
turning on to watch Stargirl and I'm like, "Oh, I could watch Hacks?"
is
No,
it
I'm
out
gonna
right
watch
now? It's
Stargirl.
out.
Yeah, it's out
It's out
today.
today. Oh shit! I want
Yeah.
to watch Hacks now.
Yeah.
Black Mirror's back. If you want to be depressed,
I know. I
it's
saw
it's
that this
good.
morning and I was like, "Ooh, think I'll just watch Stargirl right now." I pretty much keep choosing Stargirl over all the depressing stuff right now, you know.
I don't know. Then what else? They got Sinners coming out. The Ryan Coogler movie.
I'm not familiar with that one.
His he has a movie, a vampire movie with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, you know what? I think I did see a trailer or something for that. Yeah. I mean,
When's the
I'll
last
watch.
time you went to the movies for a non-Marvel movie?
I mean, I saw like Beetlejuice last year. Like,
Oh,
I, I'm trying to remember.
last August.
I saw Beetlejuice and Transformers 1 and Twisters.
I think mine's
And
Beetlejuice. Or yeah, mine is Beetlejuice. No,
yeah,
Gladiator. I saw Gladiator.
I did not see Gladiator.
Yeah, it's Gladiator.
Yeah. I know I saw like at least 3 non-superhero movies last
Mad
year.
Max?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, at least 3, I said. Yeah. I go to the movies. I just don't go to the movies a lot just because like they're just expensive, and like I don't think that necessarily it's the best way to enjoy a movie anymore, because I think home theater systems are pretty awesome, and I think subtitles are great, and the ability to pause is great, and the ability to not have annoying people sitting next to you is also awesome too. So I really only do it when I know like the world is going to punish me if I don't go see something. You know what I mean? Like, or if if we need to talk about something on the show because otherwise we don't have content to talk about. You know what I mean? Um, that's when I go to the movies.
What non-Marvel movie makes you go to the movies?
Non-Marvel. Well, I just gave you the list of like 3 movies.
Yeah.
A minute.
No, well, like what? Like for me, I'll go see every Nolan movie in the theaters.
I won't
I'll
see
go
every
see
Nolan. I
I'll
won't
see
see
every
every Nolan movie.
Cameron movie in the theaters.
I mean, that's not saying much. It's like 5 of them. Did you see uh whatchamacallit? Yeah, but they were all bad. What's the Arnold movie where he's a spy with Jamie Lee Curtis? Did you see that in
True
theaters?
Lies?
Yeah,
No.
True Lies. Thank you.
If it
Too
comes
young?
out in theaters, I'd go watch it. I've seen part of that movie in a car dealership. I've never seen the whole movie.
What? You just got done praising James Cameron and you've never seen True Lies all the way through.
I'm just saying I'll go see every Avatar or whatever is after Avatar in a theater.
Whatever's after Avatar. Got it.
Yeah.
No, I just remembered, the other thing I did watch is we watched 2 Val Kilmer movies this week. I got Lindsay to watch Heat because she'd never seen Heat.
That's a movie if they release it. Or Heat 2's coming out. I'll go see Heat 2 in theaters.
Wait, are they really doing Heat 2?
Yeah. There is a book. There is a Heat 2 book, so they're making a movie on that.
I'm assuming we're recasting everybody.
It's set in the future.
I do not want to see Al Pacino or Robert De Niro or hologram Val Kilmer. Please don't do that.
A D Al Pacino. Everyone else has a DH version. We haven't gotten a DH Al Pacino. Sign me up.
Don't no thanks. We don't need that. But we watched Heat on Friday, and she loved it. It's a great movie. And then
it's like
we
the
ended
ultimate
up.
sound system test.
It's an excellent movie. Yeah, unfortunately, Netflix has it all weird, like the way the sound's processed on it. So I had to turn my sound up super loud because, like, I've read about this before, but certain movies from a certain time period, like when they get processed over to streaming, they come out really quiet and stuff like that. So like,
do you pay for
it's
fancy
weird.
Netflix or no?
Yeah, I pay for fancy Netflix. You mean like 4K and all that stuff? Mm-hmm. I do. That's why I don't want to pay for Apple.
Apple, they just give you 4K. You don't get a choice.
Yeah. But no, yeah, Heat was a great one, and then so we actually ended up watching Tombstone on Sunday as well.
Never seen Tombstone. I've been there. I've been there like 8 times.
It's less great than Heat, but it's still Val Kilmer is probably the shining star of that movie for sure.
So. I've been at every single one of those filming locations.
Nice. That's cool.
It's
a fun movie. I mean, you said the lady's out of town right now. Watch Tombstone. It's fun. It's on Prime and Hulu right now, actually. It's on multiple platforms.
I mean, but what's more fun, watching that or watching Top Gun again? Or Batman?
Which Top Gun are we talking about?
I mean, they're both pretty good Top Guns, but I'll say the first Top Gun.
I would rather watch Tombstone or Heat than Top Gun.
I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of stuff I want to watch in theaters, the director of Top Gun 2, what's his name? He's doing the F1 movie. Like, sign me up. I'll watch. Top Gun Maverick was such a treat in theaters. You got me on board with the same movie but in a car.
Yeah, see, I mean, those are times when I'll go see a movie. Like if it's gonna be like a real experience that is worthy of like 40x or something like that, I'm down. I won't go see like a rom-com in theaters. I'm not gonna do it. I barely go see comedies in theaters anymore too, because they're just not.
Yeah, I can't
it's
think of
not
last
worth it
comedy
for
I've
me.
seen.
Yeah.
I elected not to do 40x for the Thunderbolts.
Oh, I still have to get the tickets for that. I forgot, and I'm going to do it in 40x. I promise. That's the only way I'm doing it. It's not happening otherwise.
We're coming close. We're gonna have to do the Comic-Con dance again for Fantastic Four.
Oh, where we buy tickets, and then hope that Comic-Con actually lets us watch it
and hope we don't have to use them.
Yeah. I'm down for that dance. It's a pretty fun dance. Do you think is it coming out Comic-Con week?
Yeah, it's the same.
It is.
I mean, nothing. Well, we're getting close. We're less than 100 days from Comic-Con stuff and we'll start be coming out in terms of news. But it is going to be a very fantastic weekend.
Yeah. I think if we can do it as successfully as we did last year, I'm down. But like, I don't need to do that. Like that was kind of a bad way to watch that movie. Like it was bad and good.
It was the worst way to watch that movie.
Yeah, it was
the absolute worst way to watch that movie.
We're talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. We saw it.
Yeah, watching it in an watching it at a weird angle with what is it, 5,000
people, something 6,000, something like that. Yeah,
with suboptimal seating and sound and
but Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman were there.
Yeah, they brought out everybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the beginning it was just them.
Oh, yeah, you got 2 seconds of everybody, and then that was it.
Yeah,
and then you got the drone show. The drone show was the best part.
Honestly, the drone show was the best part. That was the best part. So, yeah, but I'll get more hyped as we get closer to it, but I'm not ready for it yet. Let me enjoy Thunderbolts first. What is it, 3 weeks till Thunderbolts?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right. Well, let's continue on with some news.
Now I'm jazzed up.
Yeah. The Thunderbolts is the first. It's the first Marvel original release in May since the first Avengers. So usually their May slot is a sequel slot. That's their prime. That and Christmas are the prime slots. So you got a lot of faith.
Is Thunderbolts really original though? Like, I mean, it's all characters that we've already know. Like only the Sentry.
Avengers wasn't original. If you go by that logic.
Yeah, it wasn't. I'm just saying. Like that, but like we literally knew. Yeah, we literally knew every single character in the Avengers, and we know every character in Thunderbolts minus the Sentry. We've already paid for Disney Plus and watched many weeks of some of these characters. You know what I mean?
I mean, we know what his toy looks like.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah,
this past
cool
week,
for them.
Oh, yeah, past week we also got a look at the hands of the Fantastic Four. This past last Friday was 4/4 day, so the Hasbro team gave us a little tease that, of course, they are making Legends of the Fantastic Four, and they will be coming out soon.
I actually I didn't watch that video.
Oh, it was just an Instagram post. It's their hands. So you see their hands in a pile.
Are there stretchy
Funny
hands?
enough, one is a stretchy hand. One hand has fire on it,
Does
and one
one
hand is not invisible.
does does the stretchy hand look good?
You
Or
can
does
only
it look
see
like the same
about like
stretchy accessory that
it's
we've already gotten before?
it's like a foot of wrist,
A foot of wrist.
like a foot long wrist. What it is.
Okay. All right. They haven't shown at all yet
Yeah, they've been a
his
little shy
his
on the
special effect, right?
stretchiness. No,
Yeah.
they even did a piece. Their Entertainment Weekly did a piece on the movie that came out today, and they kind of jokingly confirmed that yes, he does stretch in this movie. So,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, they're being very coy with showing it.
I think that they just know that they've failed multiple times to make that look cool. And so everybody's waiting for it to look good. Especially because it's Pedro, man. You know what I mean? Like,
How
we
how
don't want to see Pedro
stretchy
look bad.
do you want him to stretch, or do you want him to do like turn into a ball and bounce?
Yes. All.
Okay, giant
All the
fist,
things. All of it. I want him to do all the things. Get
turn
paper
into a
thin.
parachute.
Yeah. Everything. I need to see like so many wacky things. I want him to make his eyeballs stretch out of the socket so he can look at something. Like all whatever. Just anything. He's just disgusting. He is a freaking horror show. Like if you really think about Mr. Fantastic. So I want to be a little grossed out when I see him. Like, but I want it to be grossed out because it looks believable, not because of Uncanny Valley. You know what I mean? Like I want to be. I don't want Uncanny Valley.
I don't know if we're there
It's.
yet.
I think that they think they are. That's why they're being gun shy about it. I think they think they are. And that's what's getting me a little nervous too. You know what I mean? Is it's like I kind of agree with you. I don't think we are, but we'll see. But what else you got? What other news?
We will see. Tariffs. Tariffs are going around. I don't know if you're alive, how you can avoid any tariff news for the past week. But what does that mean for us here at Den Excelsior? It means toys are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
Uh, Big Bad Toy Store this week, their founder, Joel, put out a statement. It was actually emailed out to every one of the customers, basically breaking down like to be blunt, like the dumbass nature of the tariffs. And it's not so much that the tariffs were implemented, but the kind of wishy-washiness on how everything's changing.
Yeah.
And if you're a business, you just can't forecast on any of that. And if you're not Amazon or a Microsoft, you can't eat that adjustment or make those pivots on a dime. It is some of these places are running at fairly thin margins here and there. So, Big Bag Toy Store, they're basically going to be adjusting some pre-order pricing, probably doing a surcharge here and there, and then just trying to stay on top of the ball the best they can for the interim. But I think the real crux of their sentiment was like, you, the consumer, need to be very vocal on what's happening so we can stop this from happening.
Yeah. I don't think us, the consumer, matter to the people who are implementing these tariffs, though. I think that's the problem. Like we should be the number one thing that is in consideration of it, but somehow we're not. And so that's
the other part,
unfortunate.
the other part of this coin that kind of affects us. So in retaliation, China's basically cutting back on the movies that they're going to be allowing into their country. And as you can imagine, a lot of Hollywood does less so these days, but that's half of the viewing population pretty much, right? That's just not going to be able to see your movies. And at the end of the day, it's the numbers game, right? So
yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I was actually at Ninja Exchange this past weekend, and we were geeking out on like the DC icons, and like I actually picked up the Swamp Thing figure, and people like I met the guy who runs Ninja Exchange, and he was really cool, and he was just like super enthusiastic about all these toys, and everybody is just been really a buzz about like Mattel. Mattel's getting the DC license back, and do you think they're gonna do cool stuff with it? And I'm like, I don't know, man, but like, let's be honest, like these tariffs aren't going to be fun. If like imagine Mattel comes back and they announce a brand new 6-inch line of DC figures that's better than any 6-inch line we've ever gotten before, and they have to sell it for $40 a piece. Like that sucks. Like that's not the whole thing with action figures is that they're collected by people who can't afford super expensive crap. You know what I mean? Like that's like or don't choose or don't have the availability of disposable income to buy hot toys or $1,000 statues every month or something like that. Like that's why we get them. But also, well, that's one of the reasons. But also, it's because there's a wide variety of characters that are made because they're producing 6 to 8 characters every wave of figures. And so like when you're doing 6 to 8 figures, yeah, you're trying to hit some of like the ones people want to see, which I know McFarlane got a lot of crap for making Batman figures all the time and stuff like that. But like there's also all the niche characters that we get, like, and when you got to pay $40 for a niche character, that's rough. It's rough. It's so, and I'm just ballparking $40. I have no idea what these prices are really going to be, but like it just doesn't make me enthusiastic to even consider looking at a brand new line of action figures that's going to be on the horizon next year, right? Like it's like that's rough. So
did you pick up a Hulk?
The Maximum Series Hulk? I did. You know what's weird to me? That guy's only $10 more than Spider-Man. And he's way more plastic. So
you get more stuff with the Spider-Man though.
You get a lot of accessories. You do get a lot of accessories.
I mean, he is a fully painted Spider-Man. I will say that's probably a little bit more work there.
Oh yeah, right? That Hulk is definitely reusing the entire lower section of the body minus the toes, right? I think they gave him articulated.
Yeah, he has articulated toes. Yeah. So, I do have the last bit of news. It's a little slower week, but I do have the list of maybe leaked Marvel Legends that are coming out this year. If you want to hear them.
Oh, I heard there was a list, but I didn't bother to look at it. I was hoping you did. Go for it. Okay. Let's hear it.
All right. So Secret Wars Wave 2 card backs. Featuring Constrictor.
Oh, like the Secret Wars, like as in the
anniversary,
the 80s style. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got Constrictor,
huh?
Falcon, Daredevil, a Spider-Man, unknown which one it is, and an Absorbing Man.
I don't remember Constrictor being in Secret Wars, but I will say
Serpent Society member.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like I'm happy they're doing Constrictor because the old figure was made by like is one of the first Hasbro waves, and it's not great. But as if they're trying to homage characters that are in the comic, I don't remember Constrictor being a character in the comic. So
well, these are leaks. You never know.
Yeah, I mean he deserves a new figure for sure. So that's cool. Absorbing Man, interesting. They've made a few Absorbing Mans over the year, and none of them are great. So he could use a new version for sure. That's cool. Were those all the leaks, or do you got other ones?
No, there's more. There's a few more. Okay. Deadpool and Wolverine, movie Wave 2. You got Wolverine, sleeveless, Blade, an X-23, a Cowboy Deadpool, and a Cassandra Nova.
Cowboy Deadpool, really? Like that's okay. We're talking about the one voiced by McConaughey. Yes. McConaughey, right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Would that be the first Cassandra Nova figure?
Yeah, I don't have a Cassandra Nova figure. Yeah.
Continuing. One X-Men 2-pack, Colossus and Kitty Pryde. And then the last cluster is a Spider-Man retro card back or wave, another one, featuring another Spider-Man 2099, Uncanny Spider-Man, the Owl, Cardiac, which I have a shirt of, apparently.
Uncanny Spider-Man is Nightcrawler, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And the Hypno Hustler.
The Hypno Hustler. Wow, that's pretty cool. The Owl also, sorry, we glossed over that really quick. That's awesome that there's an Owl figure.
Who's the Owl?
Okay. The Owl is a major
I've seen.
villain.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Daredevil villain. He's actually in the first season of Daredevil, the Netflix show, but they never call him the Owl. He's just Leland Owlsley. And he ends up getting murdered by Kingpin, so before he ever gets to fulfill his destiny of being the Owl. But he is a pretty cool character in that show too.
Apparently, I mean, talking about like stuff, people being in shows and whatnots. Namor was in Spider-Man 2, the Raimi Spider-Man 2, technically. If you go to the novelization.
Okay.
Can you guess who he is? He does show up in the movie, the character that's supposed to be
in. Mm-mm.
The garbage man that finds Peter Parker's suit. In the book, that is Namor.
Well, we don't need to read that movie or that book ever. Why is Namor a garbage man?
I think it pulls from like post-World War Namor. He like loses his memory and becomes homeless.
Okay, gotcha.
And then someone like,
do we mean he's a garbage man or a garbage person?
You know, he's like the garbage man that finds the thing.
Okay.
Finds the suit.
Like, is it a guy rummaging through garbage, or is it a guy that's getting paid by the city to collect garbage?
I think the city garbage guy.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So he's got a social security, he just doesn't remember who he is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that came out of left field right there, Ricky. You
triggered my mind with the Owl.
I'm over here sitting on the Owl, and then you're like, by the way, Namor's in Spider-Man 2. I'm like, what? All right, my brain's broken. Let's talk about Daredevil, please. Are we doing this?
We're doing it.
Okay, cool. What was the title of this episode? I'm trying to remember. We have it. It's
the penultimate episode.
Isle of Joy is what this episode was called. Where do you want to start with this one? What do you think? What are you thinking?
Well, this episode and the last episode next week, these were, along with the first episode, they were all completely done by the new team, the new creative team.
Okay.
So everything else that you've seen in this season so far has been tweaked or reworked or edited to fit this new narrative that they're crafting.
Gotcha.
With that note, I think it's very obvious that this is a cut from a different cloth, this episode, because it is just visually and the way the editing and the writing, I think it's almost night and day from the past couple weeks.
It's a really good episode. It's really good, and it does feel it felt different, and it was another one of those episodes where I was completely locked in, right? Like we finished the White Lotus the other day, and Lindsay was just so nervous watching that whole episode because, like, have you watched that show? Okay, well, the show this season of White Lotus starts with like a shooting,
mm-hmm.
and then it flashes back to the when everybody arrived at the hotel. So like the whole season, you're waiting for it to catch back up to this shooting that you want to know more about because you don't get to know anything about it. And when you finally get there, you're just like, what is happening? Please tell me. That was me watching Daredevil this week. Is it's like, okay, we're finally through all the BS. We got rid of Muse. We did our weird bank episode that had nothing to do with anything else. We're back on track. We are focusing on Bullseye. Remember that guy that was at the beginning of the show and ruined some people's lives? He's back and he's in full effect. And once again, they do not bother to explain anything about Bullseye. You just have to know. You just have to know what Bullseye is. And
well, they do continue to call him Bullseye in the show.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, when he says thank you, and then later you see the tooth, right? Like, and you're like, yeah, there you go.
Oh, I mean, we can talk about that now. Do you think Matt did that on purpose?
I don't think Matt broke his teeth on purpose, but I think that is why
he said thank you.
He said thank you because he dislodged a tooth, and now he had his way out, right? You know what I mean? Like, because like that's literally the tagline of Bullseye. In everything is a weapon to Bullseye. Everything is. So he breaks out of prison viciously, just murdering anybody with any random thing he can find and throw people. It makes his way all the way to this giant black and white gala that Kingpin is throwing with his wife present, and Heather has been invited as a special guest because she was recently saved by the task force. I'm gonna assume that's why she's invited. Well, I mean, like on paper, we know why she's invited. She's invited because he wants Matt there, right? Like he wants Matt there. But I think it's more okay for them to invite her as someone who recently got rescued from a vigilante, rather than, hey, we're inviting our therapist to this party. Because I don't think you're supposed to invite your therapist to parties. I think that's kind of weird. But weird. Anyways, so it's a big party. Massive amounts of corruption are taking place behind closed doors, just like one after another.
See, that was one of my favorite parts of the episode, of just watching Kingpin work for like a little bit.
Wheel and deal. He's wheeling and dealing.
See the behind closed door conversation, and you get. I mean, Matt's obviously listening to all these conversations as well, but
totally tuning out his girlfriend, just completely tuning her out. No, that episode was fantastic, and it all culminates in Bullseye taking a shot at Kingpin and Matt jumping in the way of it right before Kingpin was about to tell Heather like everything. He was gonna just blow up Matt's spot entirely. It's it's a haze. I can't remember anything else about this episode other than how it ends, because it was just this really amazing roller coaster ride. Please fill in the blanks for me, because I've forgotten so much.
Well, Bullseye, again, you mentioned breaks free and ends up at the same party, and he takes a shot at Kingpin, but Matt jumps in front of Kingpin to take the bullet for him. Matt's obviously not dead. He's down.
He got shot in the shoulder.
He got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
But it creates this interesting, like, almost triangle effect where we're like, it's almost as if Bullseye knows that Matt's the only person that can get him free, right? Or Matt the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to think, Daredevil has to save Kingpin, right? Because he is a good guy, right? And that's the line that Bullseye feeds him, is like, good men will, what do they play? Defend their enemies, or
help defend their enemies? Yeah.
Will defend their enemies.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, like, Kingpin now kind of needs Bullseye again, because, like, shit, he's the only one that could probably take down Matt.
Well, Kingpin's pretty confident that his little task force can too, but we'll see. Yeah.
But that now it's just like this whole web of lies between Kingpin and Daredevil now just gets this extra layer of sauce on it, of like this IOU, and now Kingpin doubles backs on that. He's like, you're like a super shitty person at that point, or doesn't he? Say that's like it's like you. I am lost for words on like how to comprehend like what the outcome of next week is.
Yeah. You know what? As you were talking, the other things started coming back to me from about this episode that were really juicy as well. Daniel and BB. Daniel being promoted to deputy mayor of communications, and like him suddenly like, and even his superior, like I forget her name, but like she's like, Paul, I hope you don't mind, my saying, but I don't think he's ready for this. And Wilson just says, I do mind you saying, like, and it's so awesome to see Daniel, like everything that he's done all season long, like catering to Kingpin has paid off to the point where like he comes up to that woman later in the party and he's like, I used to be really worried about like, us not being on the same side. I'm not really worried anymore, like, and that was such a cool scene because like it's not that they're not on the same side, it's that he now knows that Wilson prefers him to her, and if the shit hits the fan, she's out the door. She's going to be the scapegoat now. It's no longer going to be Daniel. That was beautiful. I also loved watching BB play like she's still Daniel's best friend, but then go off and talk to the Commissioner Gallo and be like, hey, if you ever want to tell me what's really happening here, there's private channels we can do this, like, and then like that commissioner goes in the back and sees the task force roughing up a guy, like a media guy that snuck in and took pictures, and like they're not even playing, man. They boil a man's hand in a fryer. Like that's just like they don't even care. The commissioner is not their boss anymore, and it's yeah, everything is off the rails right now in this world that they live in, and like corruption is on full tilt right now. Like it's gross, and it's what's scary is like we need Daredevil, and we need the right Daredevil, because Matt has not been the Daredevil.
He still has the Foggy baggage, and
yeah.
So they also, I mean, in this episode, allude to like Vanessa was probably the one that got Foggy killed.
They didn't allude to it. I think they basically like
like
basically outed that
Kingpin didn't do it, which now like back to your point kind of made Matt's whole like premise for a lot of this season is Fisk is back, but up until this point he hasn't really done anything personal to Daredevil.
No, he's actually been pretty respectful of Daredevil's space up until this moment, but like once Matt's coming at Wilson, and like Wilson could see him coming at him right before the lights turned on and it was their first dance, like it was about to go down. He had his hand on his security person's like chest, like as if he's ready to throw this person in front of Matt. Like he was expecting shit to go down, and then all of a sudden like Saved by the Bell kind of thing. So yeah, I think Wilson, I'm not saying Wilson's a great guy or anything like that, but Wilson has been doing a better job of respecting Matt's space and secret than Matt has been this season. And it's funny to see that Matt has been wrong about some certain things. And it only feeds more into the fact that we've been saying Matt is off his game this entire season. Ever since Foggy died, he's never been the Matt that we know him to be. And so it's really cool. It's very exciting. I'm super, super excited for next week, because like this is what I want out of a penultimate episode. Like I want all the pieces in place for the big climax right at the beginning of the next episode. And then we get a nice, denouement / epilogue at the end that'll tee us up for the next season or something like that, but it's all got to resolve next week. And I have a lot of faith that it will resolve, because like you said, these guys wrote the first episode and then they wrote these last two, right? And I would argue, did they do the Punisher one too?
That was
Because that episode
yeah.
felt like right in line with the main story, right?
To be fair, everything between 1 9 and or 1 8 and 9 episode, there is new stuff interjected into the stories.
Right. But
Yeah.
I'm saying like episode 4 feels like part of this story. Like
Mhm.
what I'm saying is we could almost take 1, 4, 8, and 9, and it's a complete story. You know what I mean? And then like
Yeah.
all the other ones are kind of
You
like
could like, I mean, yeah, not to sound like mean, but you could
you
trim
could
down
chop
the
it.
season, chop this season down quite
Yeah.
a bit, and get a pretty condensed Daredevil story.
And it would be an amazing movie, right? It would be a pretty badass movie.
Like a two-parter, but yeah.
Yeah. But
I ask this question a lot, but like as this show goes on, does this just give us a shittier Spider-Man in this universe?
Well, I don't think our Peter in this universe has a lot of experience dealing with the nuanced type of crime that Daredevil is dealing with right now, right? Like Daredevil is dealing with corruption at the highest levels. Spider-Man so far has been fighting buttholes with like space alien technology. You know what I mean? Like robbing banks and vaults and heists and stuff. You know what I mean? Like Peter isn't aware of the shady.
He's fighting supervillains.
He's fighting supervillains because he's not like embedded in the system, right? Like Daredevil has like a finger on the pulse of the city government because he's entrenched in litigation constantly. So like I don't think it's that he's a shitty Spider-Man. I think that he doesn't have the access to information that, especially now that he's like completely not an Avenger also, you know what I mean?
Doesn't have a guy in the chair.
He doesn't have a guy in the chair. He doesn't have anything. He just has the word on the street, you know what I mean? And so like I don't blame him for not like taking down Kingpin and stuff like that because at the end of the day, Spider-Man's still like what 17 7 he's still in high school, right?
He's like at least 18. That man's renting an apartment.
Has he graduated high school yet?
No, he dropped out, remember?
Okay, he dropped out, but like you know what I mean? Like he's too young to be everything that he needs to be. So like it's okay that he's not there all the time. Like I get it. Does that make sense to you what I'm saying? Like he's
Oh yeah, it does.
Like
just different levels.
If it was 30-year-old Peter Parker working for the Daily Bugle, having a lot of access to the media and news outlets and stuff like that, I would be like, yeah, he's kind of shitty. You know what I mean? Like, but he's not connected to a lot of the systems in place right now. And so it's okay. It's okay. Now, Frank, on the other hand, where's Frank?
You know what I mean? Sewer.
What is he waiting for? Is what I'm saying. Like, do we get Frank next week?
I think you have to.
I think there needs to be a reckoning for these cops with the logo, right? Like, we can't let this go this season, can we? Are we gonna let this slide? Like, I can't tell. Like,
I don't think that gets resolved this season.
It doesn't need to get resolved, but we need a little bit more addressing than just what he did so far, right? Like
he's just annoyed.
I need him to be more than annoyed is what I need. Yeah. I mean, that's just me. I mean, if I was gonna say if we're gonna do it now, since we like to do it towards the end of stuff, what's your I'm gonna be pissed for next week?
Man. I'm gonna be pissed if I think I'll be pissed if Foggy comes back. I know that's like the story in the comics, right?
It's a story in the comics.
But I just don't see how you do it without making it like pointless.
I don't need Foggy to come back. I don't think they're going to do that this next week. But I will tell you this: I'm gonna be pissed if Bullseye dies before he gets a proper outfit.
You mean with the actual bullseye on his head?
No, I just mean like looking cooler than he did at the beginning of the first.
He looked pretty cool. He was purple.
He did not look cool. He did not look cool.
I mean, what else do you?
I need like the white gloves, and I need the rings around his collarbone. You know, like the bullseyes around his upper torso, and the white.
I mean, if you're gonna say that, then I'm gonna say same thing for Daredevil. Like I need Daredevil in the suit.
Well, Daredevil already wears the suit. What I'm saying, like that the bullseye suit that he wore in the first episode wasn't even close to what he looks like in the comics. Like not even close. I don't need them to be bright white gloves and boots and stuff like that, but I need a little bit more comic accuracy than we've been given, and I need him to be a costumed character working for Kingpin. So
yeah, he's always like he's a villain for hire type.
Like yeah. And so we haven't gotten him to be there yet, unless that's what he was at the beginning of the season, and that's it. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, I'm gonna be pissed if he dies next week. I don't want that. I don't want him dead. Like it's too soon. We barely used him.
I do like how they always find excuses in this show to get Kingpin in the white jacket.
I also liked all the red that was being shown in that episode too. Like there was a lot of red on Matt and a lot of white on Wilson.
I'll say the Zombie Piss for season 2, but like put Kingpin in the full suit. The black pants, the white jacket. They kind of did it with the wedding episode, but again, they messed up on the shirt.
He wears the full suit in the Netflix, the 3rd season.
Kinda the shirt's off. The wedding shirt.
No, not the wedding. No, in the 3rd season of Kingpin, he does wear it.
The ascot with the cane.
Okay, the ascot's asking a bit much. But like that's
with the cane.
Yeah. But my thing is the cane, like if we're gonna talk about the bank episode again, like that was the jewel for the cane, right?
I mean, it's too small.
The thing was huge.
It
was big.
The stupid ass diamond, like the Dr. Hammond from Jurassic Park size thing on his cane. I want that.
Fair enough.
You sound like you were very happy with this episode. I was very happy with this episode.
Yeah,
it's a really good Daredevil.
It's an excellent show. I still put the Punisher one above it.
Yeah, that speech is, I think, tops anything we've got.
Yeah. Like this episode was really fun. And it's back to form, like from what we expect, what we from the heights that we reached, in the middle of the season. But I think it didn't need to hit the highest high to this week, because that's the point of next week, right? Like that's it. It's a lot of pressure on next week is what they're setting up right now, right? Like I have a lot of room for disappointment is I think I've just been trained by Marvel Television, right? To like hope for so much, and then that last episode just kind of like hits me like a sucker punch. And so I'm gonna be optimistic, because I think this team, like you said, like I think it's clearly the people who rewrited the ship are in charge of these final 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's their ship now.
Yeah. And if depending on how they bring it home next week, I'm going to be either really upset or really excited for season 2. But I think I'm going to be excited for season 2.
I will say I have seen some set leaks for season 2. So that kind of give me an idea of what's going to happen next week. but not enough of an idea that I know. So I'm still excited. But I'm curious to talk about what you know next week, or what you knew going in next week.
Well, we're not gonna do that. Let's save that for next week. Well, next week we'll
talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I had fun talking about this episode. I would say this one's up there. It's probably like a 9 out of 10 for me. Like it was a really fun episode. It just, when Daredevil hits, it hits really good. I think the only thing holding me back on this episode was, again, it was kind of a carryover from last week, but like I kind of hate his girlfriend. I hate Heather, and I hate how important she is to the plot.
Oh, she's gonna be Muse too. Like, they already set those seeds.
I don't like her right now, the way that they're using her. I don't like that. Like, she was surprised that Matt didn't show up at first, because like, I'm like, I thought he made it pretty clear that he didn't want to be there, but I mean, whatever. It's fine. It's nitpicks. I like, the point is, I'm very excited for that episode, and I'm very excited for next week. So if you got nothing else to add, we can probably wrap this up.
We can wrap it up right now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in with us. Check us out next week when we talk about the finale of Daredevil Born Again. But until then, true believers.